So today's session, in today's session side, what I will do is I will be talking about your test plan. First, we will talk about the test plan. Once we are done with the test plan, yes, we will jump into the test design. See, in your software testing life cycle, the very important phase of your software testing life cycle is your test planning. Test planning is a very important phase for your entire testing activities. And remember one point, the entire testing activities will be based on this test plan only. How you are preparing your test plan. If your test plan is good, if your test plan is proper, then your entire testing activities will be on time. Whatever the deliverables we are giving to the team, all the deliverables will be on time. So your test plan should be in a proper and it should be very effective. So I will talk about that, what is test plan, how to create the test plan. And also you can ask me one more question, like who will prepare this test plan? As I said earlier also, test plan can be created by test lead or senior test engineer, or even sometimes you will also get a chance to create your test plan, because there is no rule that test plan will be created only by lead. There is no rule at all. So here what I will do is I will be talking about that, how to create your test plan, and that too, like I will be explaining you in a simple terminologies, so probably that you can easily understand. Okay, fine. So first we will be talking about the test plan. So test plan is nothing but it's a strategic document. It's a strategic document. It's a strategic document to how we are going to test the application. That means test plan is nothing but it's a strategic document how we are going to test that application. That is the definition actually. Now to prepare the test plan, now first what I will do is, right, I will be preparing the test plan in a simple notepad and I will show you one of the test plan. And after today's session, your task, your assignment is, whatever the requirements I have given, you have to prepare test plan for that particular requirement document. That is your assignment. Fine. First thing, right, if you want to create your test plan, right, if you remember like 4 words, then you can easily create your test plan. Who, what, when, how. Just remember, like with these 4 keywords, like you can create at least your base test plan. You can create it. So if, and one more thing right here you need to understand is, if you go to the organization, different organizations will have the different templates to create your test plan. So each organization may have their own template to create the test plan. But end of the day, almost all organizations will have the test plan with the same content. Maybe the template may vary, but inside the content, it's one and the same. Fine. Now, just try to understand these keywords. Who, right? First, that means, right, what I will is, in my test plan, I will be having a section called who. That means, who is going to test my application? Who is working with my application? Who are all the responsible persons for my testing cycle? So what I will do is, I will clearly mention like Anu is responsible for login, and Ranjit is responsible for, just I'm writing some names, okay, just I'm writing simple names, okay, so that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, just whatever the names are, just I'm picking some names. Okay, okay, like this. So what I'm doing is, like, right, I'm clearly mentioning who is responsible for what. So I gave my resource details, right? Okay, fine. So here, right, what you can do is, right, when you say that resources, you can also consider, like, if you need any software resources, like if you need any softwares, if you need any hardware, you can also consider as part of your resources. That is fine. Then what is nothing but scope of testing. So what is nothing but scope of testing? See here, right, thing is, right, I wanted to make you the things simple so that you can easily write your test plan. When I say this, if you remember these 4 keywords, then you can like at least write, you can base test plan. So scope of testing, what is the testing you are going to do? We will clearly define here. So like what will happen in the test plan means, whatever the requirements we got it from the business analyst or project manager, we will analyze the requirements and then we will resolve all the queries whatever we have, and then start creating your test plan. When you are creating your test plan, you will clearly mention what kind of testing we are doing, and what is our testing limitations, because right, I cannot test each and everything. If you remember, like I told you, one of the testing principle is exhaustive testing is not possible, because if you give me one application, test it means I cannot test that application each and everything. It is impossible. So what we will do is we will clearly mention what we are going to test, what we are not testing. So each and everything we will clearly mention in the test plan, and also everyone will follow this test plan. And in future, just say for just say for example, if you are getting any issues in the production, right, your manager will come back and he will ask why you guys missed in the testing time. Then you can say that, see, this is clearly mentioned in the test plan, this is not in scope for our testing team, this is out of scope. You can say that. If it is already there and if you missed it, yes, you need to provide some justification for it. So what I will do is I will clearly mention what is my scope of testing, requirements to be tested. What requirements I can test here? I will say that I can test my login, I can test my whatever that requirements given by your project manager or your business analyst, you will clearly mention. And out of scope, right, we will write like you can have like write whatever the requirements is not in scope for this particular release, you can talk about that. Just I'm giving like some sentences here, other than above, are not in scope, or not in scope. Okay, so we will talk about that scope of testing, right? We will talk about that scope of testing. So that means that which requirements you are going to test, which requirements you are not testing, right? You are clearly mentioning here. Then once you are done with that who and what, then what we will do is we will say that when. What do you mean by when? What do you mean by when? When is nothing but timelines. When you are going to test that application, right? When you are testing the application, where you are testing the application, you have to clearly mention here. So what is the timelines for your testing, which environment you are testing, what is the dates for each and every build. So you will be clearly highlighting in your test plan. And here here I wanted to highlight one point here. Now say for example in your test plan you mentioned that you will be getting like 2 builds for your testing, but due to some reasons like developers release the 4 builds, then n number of questions will come from your management. Why you guys are released 4 builds? Is this because of your testing team is not working correctly? Is this because of your development team is not working correctly? So n number of questions will come from the management. So whatever you mention in the test plan, everyone has to follow that. Right? There may be some exceptions, that I agree, right? There may be some exceptions, and during that time like we can have like more number of bills also. But for that, right, you need to provide some justification if anyone is about to ask on the same. Okay, fine. So timelines means I will clearly mention. So we are planning to test our application in the QA environment, and in the QA environment we are having build 1. And you can ask me like, right, if I'm creating that test plan for the agile environment, what I will do? Then instead of this, right, what you will do is you will say that sprint 1, sprint 2, and you will say that where you are testing and what is the timelines. So everywhere, right, test plan will be same for your any model, whatever may be the model. Only thing is when you say that agile model, agile environment, so your test plan will keep on update. That means if there is any change, immediately you have to come back to your test plan and then update your test plan accordingly. But if it is a waterfall model, what we will do is we will prepare our complete test plan. Once it is created, once it is signed off, then we will never do the changes until and unless you got any ad hoc request from your client. So build one. So I'll say that we are starting from, so just I'm giving some dates here. Just I'm giving some dates, okay? Just random dates I'm giving. Build to, and also one more thing I wanted to tell you here is, right here, right, build date means I'm not giving my build date. See, I can see I'm a just a test lead or I'm a just a tester, so I don't know this dates and all. What you will do is before writing the test plan, you will be get in touch with the different teams like your development team, your business team like your project manager or your BA, and you will be talking with all the teams, and then you will be asking like what is the plan for them, like what is the plan of your development team when they are giving the build and when they are giving the next build. So you will get all the information, and then what you will do is as a tester, okay, how much time I required, and then based on that you will finalize the dates. You are not taking your own decision, however you are getting the inputs from your team, entire team. So I will select this. Like this. So what I will do is I will be clearly mention what is the plan for my testing activities. What is the plan of your entire testing timeline. Now, okay, I talked about like who is working with that, what we are working, and then what is the timeline, and finally what I will do is I'll be talking about that testing types, how you are going to test the application, what are all the testing types you are using. So here what you will do is you will be having different testing types to test your application. Here what I will do is I will test my application by using different testing types. That also you have to clearly mention in your test plan, saying that what are all the testing types you are going to use during your testing. This is the complete test plan, and it's a detailed document to test your application. How you are going to test the application, right? You will be using this detailed document only. Okay. So I will be saying like this. So in build one, I will be using my, so what is this testing and all, right? I will be talking about that. I will be talking about that in detail. What is smoke testing? What is functional testing? What is that other testings? Whatever that other testing XYZ and all, right? I will be talking about that. So here, right, what I am doing is I'm clearly mentioning, right, what are all the testings I'm going to perform for each build. What are all the testings I'm going to perform for each team. So what I will do is I will be clearly mentioning what are all the testing types I'm going to perform on that particular build. Fine. So with this, right, I created a base test plan, and then like, right, you will be having some common things, like I will have those common things which will complete our complete test plan. So I will say that what is the objective of the document. That's common, like, right, whenever if you're writing any document, obviously you will be using your objective of your document. Then then what I will do is I'll be talking about that if you have any assumptions, right? If you have any assumptions, that means to write the document, right, what I will do is I may have some assumptions. That means, what do you mean by assumptions here? So here, right, I'm giving the dates. How can you give the dates? Right? This is based on the assumption that developers will deliver the build on date. That means if the developer is releasing the build on 24th, then only I can finish my testing by 28th. If they are not releasing on 24th, that means then I am not responsible. Then what I will do is I will clearly mention in the test plan, in case of any build delivery, then your timelines may vary. You will clearly mention, you can clearly mention in your test plan. So let me write one assumption, how assumptions will be. Right? I will be doing assumptions like this. So assumptions is, assumption 1, development team will deliver the build on time after performing smoke test. After performing smoke test, I'll clearly mention. And also I will say that here database testing is not in scope. I will clearly mention. That means, right, this is assumption, right? My assumption is my database testing is not in scope. So I will clearly mention here. So whatever the assumptions for that particular application, so you can clearly mention in your test plan. Risk. If you have any risk, this is the common for any document. See, if you are preparing any document, this risk and mitigations, this is a common thing. Now when you talk about your risk and mitigation, what do you mean by this risk and mitigation? Tell me. So when you say that risk and mitigation means with respect to your application, you are doing your testing. While doing testing, can you see any risk here? What kind of risk you are seeing here, and what is your plan to overcome that particular risk? Then you can talk about that. You can talk about that any risk is there, all the risks and all, right? You can talk under this section like risk and your mitigation section. So what you can do is, for me, that risk is like, say for example, I'm testing one of the banking application. So what is my risk? Test data should be provided by the business team prior to test, right? If not, timelines may vary accordingly. So what I will do is, right, I will clearly mention, right, whatever the challenges, whatever the risk I can see in my application, I will talk in my test plan, and I will clearly mention. This is the section where you need the experience, because, right, most of the organizations test plan will be written by the leads. The reason is this section, because if you want to write your risk and mitigations, you can write your risk and mitigations only if you are experienced, only if you know the applications very well. Then only you can write your risk and all. Okay, like this. Now what I will do, I will say that entry and exit criteria. So what I will do is, I will say like okay, fine. Tell me that when you will start your testing. Tell me when you are stopping your testing. This is also an interview question. So here, right, what I will do is, I will clearly mention in the requirement document when I will start my testing and when I will stop my testing. I will clearly mention in the test plan itself. Now you tell me with your understanding till now, when you will start your testing. Tell me with your understanding. Right now I ask you, test the application. When you say that test the application, yeah, requirement is not our job actually. So requirements is the job of business analyst, and just we are trying to understand the requirements, and if there is any mismatches and if there is any incomplete, just we will try to reach them, and then we will get the clarification, right? Okay, fine. For that also, if you want, I can write it. Requirement Okay, requirement understanding. Okay, fine, fair enough. Then, so when you will start your testing? So if I ask you, just start testing what you need, to test your application. So whenever, right, if anyone is asking to test your application, means first thing,
environment.
yes, that is what I'm looking for. Environment should be ready, right? See, if the environment is not ready, where you will test your application, tell me. Think logically, right? If I ask you to test the application, where I can test? I can test directly in the production? No, I cannot test in the production, right? So you have to make sure that your environment should be ready before start of your execution. So this is the interview question, right? People will ask when you will start your testing and when you will stop your testing. So test environment should be ready and test cases should be ready. So what is this test cases? How to write the test cases? Yes, I will talk about that in detail. What is this test cases, how to write the test cases, because as I said, test case writing is the primary responsibility of any tester. And then main one more point is application should be given, right? Otherwise where you will test? Developers to test the application. Okay, see, if they're not providing the application, where I will test? I cannot test in my application, right? So once the developers are done with their application, once they give the application to the testing team, then I can start testing my application. So these are all the points you can say that when you want to start your application. Now, when you want to stop your testing, that means exit criteria. Anyone can guess it? That's fine, right? Because this is not a discuss, but still anyone can guess it when to stop. That means, right, see, I gave you one application and I say that just complete, start testing it. Now, right, you are testing your application, and when you will stop your testing, tell me.
All the test cases are executed.
Perfect. So all the test cases are executed. Fine. So what I will do is like as I said, right, test case is nothing but each and every possible condition to test the requirement. How to write the test case, we will learn that. So here what I will do is I will stop my testing whenever all my test cases are executed. Fine. Good. Any more points? Any more?
Before the release date.
Yes, perfect. That is correct only actually. See, timelines reached. So next one is, right, what I will do, I will stop my testing whenever I reach the timelines, because here if you observe here, if you go back, here I said that this is the timelines for my testing. So once I reach my timelines, then obviously I have to stop and then I have to provide my status there. Okay, any more? Timelines reached, okay. Any more? Okay. All the defects are addressed, because right here, right now we are doing our testing. That means we are executing our test cases. When you are executing your test cases, like you may be getting so many defects. What do you mean by defects? Defect is nothing but deviation from the requirement. When you're testing your application, probably, right, you can find so many defects. Now you will be giving all the defects to your developer. Now once all the defects are addressed, yes, I'm good. So this is the criteria when you will stop your testing. You can also say that, like, right, budget also will comes into picture. Like, right, testing is allocated for some budget, and then we have to focus with that particular time. Once that budget is over, yes, you can stop your testing also. This is this is when you will stop your testing. And then one more point, you can also talk about your defect criteria. That means, right, so when you will say that yours is a defect, and then what is the criteria, what is the importance of the defect, how much time we will take to fix the defect. All the information we will be captured in the test plan itself, and everyone has to follow the same approach. And also we will mention where exactly we are tracking our defects. Everything we will mention in your test plan itself. Okay. And then tools, like if you guys are using your automation testing, yes, if you guys are using your automation testing, then you can highlight it, like we are using whatever the tool, Selenium, whatever the tool you are using, just simply highlight in your test plan. So this is your test plan. So this is how you can create your test plan. Now tell me if you guys are having any doubt. Otherwise what I will is I will show you one of the test plan. So this is exactly how you can create your test plan in the real time. Okay. Maybe let's see, as I said, like, right, if you go to the organizations, and the organizations will use a template, like every organization will have their own template. And if you see the template, probably, right, one or two points may differ from your test plan to test plan, but overall will be same, like your timelines, resources, and your scope of your testing, and your testing types. These are the common things for any test plan, for any template. Based on the test plan, what they will is, they will be using like little difference, because, right, template may vary. And I will be having one template. Let me show you. This is one of the test plan. Now you can have a look and let me know if you guys are having any doubt. So this is my whatever that company name. And this is my project name. What is my project name? Project name is, what is that? Cyclos. This is my project name. This is my project name, and this is my version number. And as usual, like who prepared, who reviewed, who approved, this is as usual. Now, right, when you go to any test plan, right, as I said, test plan will be almost same only, and template may vary from organization to organization. There is no much difference. If you see here, so this is my objective. What is the objective of your document? What is the scope of your document? And then features to be tested. Features means, right, don't think that it's a different term. It's a requirement only. And then what is your approach? Approach is nothing but how you are going to test your application. What is your different testing types? So as I said, like, right, different organizations will have different templates, but if you see that content, overall it will be same. So here, right, what I said is I use the term called testing type, but if you see here in this particular document, they are using the term called approach. That means what are all the testing types they are using to test that particular application. Okay. And here, right, pass fail criteria. Actually, right, I said that it's a defect criteria, but here, right, these people are using like pass fail criteria. So there is not much difference, like almost same. And this is your roles and responsibilities, and your timelines, and your resources, like who is working, and what software you required, what hardware you required, and risk, what is your risk, like this. So this is everywhere the same document. Let me try to understand this document. So this is your introduction. Introduction is nothing but all about your project. What is this project all about? Just like, right, what they will do, they will be giving like some introduction about your project. And then objective. What is the objective here? Here the objective is, like, what we will do is we will clearly say that, right, the objective of my document is to perform my testing of my application, and this is the strategic document to test my application. So you can have your objective, what exactly you are trying to do here. And then scope of your testing. Scope of your testing is nothing but what testing you are doing. What is the scope of your testing? What is your limitation? What is your limitation? Because, right, I cannot test my application with each and every possible scenario. There will be some limitations. So you have to call out. You have to call out in your test plan document. You have to call out in your test plan document. Now if you see here, right, clearly mention features to be tested. That means I will test these features, these requirements, requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3, like that. And then features not to be tested. That means like what features we are not testing. So based on our discussions or based on the input provided by your project manager, you can clearly mention which requirements you are testing and which requirements you are not testing. And also what we will is, once we created this test plan, it will go to your entire team members and everyone will review that, and then once it is approved, then only we will start going with the next testing activities. So everyone will like review this, so that if anything needs to be modified, anything needs to be changed, then they will provide you some review comments, and then we will work accordingly. So what features we are not testing here, and then approach, what kind of testing you are doing here, right? What kind of testing you are doing? Like we are doing some smoke testing, I'm doing some GUI testing is nothing but graphical user interface testing. And what is this testing? What is this testing, and what is the importance of each and every testing? I'll be discussing in detail going forward. Functional testing, I will do that retesting, I will do that regression testing, and I will talk about that all the testing types going forward. All the testing types going forward. And what we will do is, here also sometimes, right, you can also have your test deliverables. See, this is also one interview question, like people will ask, can you tell me what are all the deliverables you have given in your current application? They will talk about this. They will talk about that, like can you tell me like deliverables what you have given in your current project. Deliverables is nothing but what kind of testing activities you performed in your application. That means for each and every testing activity there will be an output, there will be a document for each and every testing phase. Say for example, when you're writing your test cases, that means I will write my test cases in a document, in an Excel sheet, or you may be using some tools also. I will tell you what is the tools under. So most of the times when you say that test cases, you will be writing the test cases in your Excel document. That is one deliverable. And then test execution reports. I wrote the test cases and then I wanted to give the results of that test cases. Yes, you can do that. That is also one more deliverable. And then what you can do is you can also provide some reports. You can provide your reports like how the testing activities happen in your test cycle. You can provide your reports as well. Okay. And test plan also one deliverable. One more point here. Here, right, here I told you like test cases, execution results, bug reports, and even your test plan also one of the deliverable as well. Here also we will clearly mention what is that roles and responsibilities of each and every team member. Like now in my team, like I'm having different team members. So what I will is I will clearly highlighting what is the responsibility of each and every team member here. I will talk about that. And yes, schedule is as usual. See, schedule means timelines means not only for your testing, not only for your test case execution, but also for your test case preparation also, because right, I want to create my test cases. I want to create my test cases. So when I want to create my test cases, right, when I want to create my test cases, then how to create the test cases, how to create your test cases, for that how much time you are taking to complete the task. So that also will be highlighted in your test plan, saying that what is the timelines for my activities, testing activities, like see, understanding my requirement review, how much time I'm taking, and then your test case preparation, test case reviews, and then test case execution, and then you will be doing your regression testing, retesting. So each and everything what you will do is you will clearly mention the timelines for each and every activity. And yes, environment details, like if you want any operating systems or if you want any browsers, you can highlight it, because the reason is, say for example, if anyone will comes to you and they said that can you test my web application, and they are asking you to test with different browsers. When they say that different browsers, right, I will not agree. Please tell me what kind of browsers you want me to test, because when you simply say that different browsers, like I'm having a lot of browsers in the market, I cannot test my application with each and every browser. Then they will say that, clearly says that test the application with IE, FF and Chrome. Then what I will do is I will be testing my application with only these browsers. And also I will clearly highlight it in your test plan saying that we are responsible to test the application with these browsers, okay, fine. Then like, right, we will also highlight what kind of risk we have, and then what is the plans for that particular risk. Like schedule will be always like, right, what will happen, schedule is a risk, because if developers are giving that build on time, then our schedule will be on time and deliverables also will be on time. If developers are not delivering that build on time, obviously that entire timelines will slip. That is true. And personal also, like that means, right, your resources also, sometimes what will happen is like say for example, in between, like your tester quit the job, or he may move to another project. So this kind of situation also, you should have some backup, like how you can manage the things. You should have some backup. And then like what else? That's fine. That's it. So this is your test plan. This is your test plan. Now you guys tell me, like if you have any doubts with this test plan. Now what I will do is I will be sharing this test plan with you. Now your assignment is, take this test plan, review the test plan, go through the entire test plan once again, try to understand it, and take your requirement document, whatever you have, whatever I shared earlier, take that requirement document and then start writing the test plan for both the things. The intention is, if you're writing for a couple of applications, so that, right, you guys will be comfortable by the end of the task. Okay, any doubts with this, let me know. Are we clear with this? Okay, fine. So let's move to the next one. So here, right, what we learn is, right, we learn that test planning, we learn the test plan, what is test plan, how to create the test plan, who will create the test plan, what is the content available inside the test plan. Those things we discuss. The second phase of your software testing life cycle is design, test case design. That means what you will do is, you will be writing the test cases based on your requirements and your test plan. Because in the test plan, like they will clearly mention how much time you require to complete the test cases and who is responsible for the test cases. And based on that, what I will do is, I will be writing my test cases in the Excel document. Now what we will do is, we will learn that how to write the test cases in Excel. See, most of the organizations, they will use Excel to write the test cases. Most of the organizations. Okay. Now what I will do is, I will be talking about that little about your test cases, and then test cases we need to spend a little time here, because as I said, test cases is the primary responsibility of any tester. And every time what you have to do is, from today onwards, okay, if I'm testing the application, what kind of test cases I can write for this application. Just imagine that you are going in a lift. If you are going in an elevator, right? If you are going in a lift, okay, what kind of test cases I can write for this lift. So this is the way you have to follow every day. That means, say for example, if you are writing a exam, when you are writing exam, okay, what kind of test cases I can write for a pen. Just think and then start writing the test cases, because test case writing is not a one-day task. You have to use your practice every day. every day you have to spend like 30 minutes of time is fine, and then try to understand how to write your test cases. Okay, fine. Now first thing, right? First thing, what is test case? First question will come. What is test case? So here test case is nothing but each and every possible condition to test the requirement. So if you are testing your application, how many possible ways I can test it? So each and every condition will call it as test case. So if you're having any requirement, whatever may be the requirement, how many ways I can test my application? That is called your test cases. That means if you see here, right, if this is a login page, how many ways I can test it? Login with empty details, login with only username, login with only password, login with invalid username and password, login with valid username and password. That means when you're writing your test cases, you have to consider both your positive as well as your negative flows. So what do you mean by positive and negative flow? So I'm having one application where user can create the order. So what I will do is I will be giving all the valid information and see that whether user is able to create that order successfully or not. That is called your positive testing. But at the same time, as a tester, right, you have to check negative condition also. And remember one point, when you are doing your positive testing, probably that you may get one or two defects. But when you are doing your negative testing, you will be finding lot of defects. You will find n number of defects when you are using your negative testing. Okay, we will going forward, right, while writing the test cases, you can see that what do you mean by positive testing, what do you mean by negative testing, you can see that. But here the point is, when you are testing any requirement, whatever that each and every possible condition, so this each and every possible condition is called a test case. So when you get any requirements, I want to test that requirement, how many ways I can test it? Each and every possible condition is nothing but my test case. That is the definition. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, those are the definition. Okay, anyone can tell me the time, because my battery is running out. What is the time? Anyone can ping me the time? Anyone can ping me the time? Okay. Okay, fine. 10:26. Okay, fine. Let's complete this one also. Let's complete this. So let me connect battery then, and I will complete this three things. I will complete these three techniques, and then you can close. Let me connect this. Let me get my charger. Okay, fine. So when you're creating your test cases, right, you can use like a couple of techniques. You can use your couple of techniques to design your test cases. But right, we will never mention that I use these techniques to write the test cases, but we will use these techniques to prepare your test cases. While preparing your test cases, always you will use these techniques. I will talk about that each and every techniques today. Okay. So what we will is we will talk about that each and every technique here. So when you're working with any requirements, and if you're creating your test cases for any requirement, you will be using these techniques, but we will never say that I use these techniques. Just we will keep these techniques in your mind and then start writing the test cases. These are the common things. These are the black box design techniques or testing techniques. These are your boundary value analysis, equivalence class partitioning, and your error guessing. I will talk about that each and every technique here. I will talk about the technique here. So here, right, first thing is boundary value analysis. So these three things are the important, most of the times we will use this only. First thing is your boundary value analysis. Name indicates that you will be creating your test cases based on the boundaries. That means now I have a requirement like this. My requirement says that username allows 4 to 12 characters. So when you have a business rule like this, see, this is called your business rule, right? This is called your business rule. So what is the business rule for your application? For the business rule, they clearly said that username allows 4 to 12 characters. This is the business rule. This is the requirement from your client. So to test this particular thing, what you need to do, you need to write the test cases. When you want to write the test cases for this kind of business rule, then what you will do is you will be using your boundary value analysis technique. So I will never say that it's boundary value analysis, but while writing the test cases, yes, here right looks there are some boundaries. So I have to use my boundary value analysis for my test case design. So what I will do, I'll be writing the test cases based on this. Minimum, that means I will test my application like this. Minimum minus 1, minimum plus 1, maximum minus 1, maximum, and maximum plus 1. So what you are doing, you are testing your application based on the boundaries. That is called your boundary value analysis technique. Name indicates boundary value analysis. So you are testing the application based on the boundaries. So during my testing also, what I will do, I will be testing this application like minimum minus 1. What is minimum here? 4. So let's test the application with 3 and 4, and your minimum plus 1 is your 5. Minimum plus 1 is 5. Similarly, maximum 12. Maximum minus 1 is 11. Maximum is 12, and maximum plus 1 is 13. So I will be testing my application based on the boundaries. That is called your boundary value analysis technique. So usually that we will say that it's a BVA, boundary value analysis technique. BVA technique. So this is my BVA technique. So here also, if you see here, right, example also, everywhere, right, you will be getting the boundaries for each and every field. Say for example, right, if you are working with one application, right, there you can see that some amount field. When you see the amount field, you can enter only some limit only. You cannot enter like 100 numbers and all. There will be some limit, you can observe that. Because the reason is for that the business rule is only user can enter only 4 digits. So based on that only your testing team will do the testing, saying that whether it is allowing 4 digits or it's more or less. So what I will do is I will be testing my application based on the boundaries, and boundaries also what I will do is I will test my application like less than minus 1, more than 1, and you will also test your application on the boundary as well. This is how exactly you will be doing your boundary value analysis. Fine. The second one is, okay, error guessing. So this error guessing technique will come only with your experience. There is no proper definition for your error guessing technique. Error guessing technique will come only with your experience. You can ask me what kind of experience. That means that if you already work with your one of the web application and then you are working one more application now, so probably right, you know that what kind of errors you can face in your application. Here your experience count. So you can use this error guessing technique based on your experience. Let me tell you one thing here. Say for example, I'm working with my one of the date field. Now what I will do is I will write a test case saying that verify whether this field is allowing more than 29 days in the February. Because you know that there is no February 28. Right? Everyone knows that. So obviously when you're trying to select your 29, it should show some error message. So this is called your error guessing. Error guessing is nothing but you are testing the application by guessing some error in your requirements. You can guess the error based on your experience. Yes, I may get a error in that particular requirement if I follow these kind of steps. And then because, based on that only you will be writing your test cases. Okay, fine. And one more thing is equivalence class partitioning. Equivalence class partitioning, or we will say that ECP, right? Equivalence class partitioning, or we will also say that it's a ECP technique. What do you mean by that? Equivalence class partitioning. Okay, I will talk about that. So when you say that equivalence class partitioning, right, it will be like this. Say for example, the business rule will be like this. Business rule will be like this. Password should allow 4 to 12 alphanumeric characters. Alphanumeric characters. Now to test this particular business rule, what we will do is, right, to test this boundaries, yes, I will use as usual my boundary value analysis technique I will use to test this particular boundaries. Now if you see here, they clearly said that this field will allow alphanumeric. To test this, I will use my equivalence class partitioning ECP technique. And you can ask me what is ECP technique. ECP technique is nothing but you are testing the application by partitioning your classes. What do you mean by classes? Now, if I'm having one field, if the field is allowing one number, that means if I'm able to enter one number 5, that means it will allow any other number. That means it will allow 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is called your equivalence class partitioning. Equivalence class partitioning is nothing but you are partitioning your classes and testing your application. Now, what I will do is I will test my application whether I am able to enter my alphabet A. If I am able to enter my alphabet A means, then obviously I can enter up to Z, because any alphabet I can enter, because that is the equivalent classes. That is the equivalent classes. So what I will do is I will be testing my application by equally partitioning the classes. So here what I will do, I will be testing like this. This is as usual. Like you can use your both your boundary value analysis plus your what is that boundary value analysis and equivalence class partition. Now what I will do, I will check whether I am able to enter my alphabets, and then I will check whether I am able to enter my numerics, and then I will check whether I am able to enter my alphanumeric. See, remember here when I say that alphanumeric is nothing but this is alphabets plus numerics, right? If anyone is saying that alphanumeric, meaning it is alphabets plus numerics, that is called your alphanumeric. And then what I will do is I will be using my special characters. So many combinations. Then what I will do here, right, one, if it is allowing one special character, then probably right it will allow all the special characters. Similarly, If it is not allowing one special character, so most of the special characters will not allow, because it's a classes, equivalent classes. And then special characters is done. Then what I will do is I will be testing my application with different combinations. So here, right, what I will do, I will test my application like this. Okay, fine. This is your equivalence class partitioning. Equivalence class partitioning is nothing but you are testing the application by equally partitioning your classes. And here what will happen in the equivalence class partitioning means, right, when you're entering some value, that means, right, if you're entering some alphabet, means if you're able to enter one alphabet, that means you are able to enter any other alphabets. Any alphabet you can use it. Okay, this is the design techniques, like what is your boundary value analysis, what is your equivalence partitioning, and what is your error guessing. Let me know if you have any doubt. Otherwise, I will jump into the test case writing. Now what I will is I will be taking one test case template, and first I will show you how your test case template looks like and what is the template. And once I explain the template, then what I will do is I will be showing you first, right, what we will do is we will write the test cases for simple things. Like let's talk about how to write the test cases for your ATM. Let's talk about that, how to write the test cases for your what else, vending machine, or anything, like let's talk about that, and then we will go to that application. We will take the requirements and then we will start writing the test cases. Yes, for test case writing, yes, we will take a little time because this is my main job. Okay, I will ask one question, right, before going to that test case writing. Can anyone can give me that test cases for your ceiling fan? See, if you go to the interviews also, people will ask the test cases on the fly. That means, right, if they're having a pen in the hand, they will ask, can you tell me the test cases for your pen, like that. Anyone can tell me the test cases for your ceiling fan? Okay. Just give me, like if it is invalid also, that is absolutely fine. What is the test case for your ceiling fan? Okay.
So when the switch should be in on position, the ceiling fan should be rotate.
Okay, fine, valid. So when the switch is on, verify the system, verify the fan behavior. Correct. Any more?
Same thing, the switch should be off position, the
Yes,
fan should be
correct.
off.
Yes, and one more point right here I wanted to tell you guys, like, right, when you're writing your test cases, you should have patience, because, right, test case writing is a really tedious process. And also manual testing, right, when you say that manual testing, you may be feeling bored sometimes. So what you have to do is you have to be patient while writing the test case. Okay.
So first thing is we have to verify there is what is the power is there is not.
Yes, that is also, it's a negative testing. See, when you say that testing means, right, when you're writing the test cases, you have to write both your positive as well as your negative. So when you're saying that verify the fan behavior with no power. Okay, fine.
And when it is low,
You mean to say that power is low?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
all.
no. Like,
Okay.
no, it has some modes like low, medium, high
Yeah, well,
speeds.
yeah, you mean to say that regulator, yes, speeds, yes, that is
Yes,
valid
yes.
point. Yeah, so that's a valid point. Like verify the fan speed by increasing the, that's a valid point, by increasing the regulator. Fine, agree, regulator, agree with you. Then any more? So again, let's go with this also. Verify the fan speed by decreasing. Okay, valid. Okay, any more? So any more? See, one more thing, right? When you're writing the test cases, you have to consider your UI test cases also. Look and feel test cases. How the fan looks like. What is the brand name? How many wings are there? What is the size? What is the width? You have to consider each and every point. Okay. When you're talking about your test cases also, you have to talk about your UI test cases. So what I will do, verify the fan color, brand, so many things you can cover here. Brand, okay, wings, number of wings, and you can check that everything is properly fitted. That means if one wing is fitted in one direction and another wing is fitted in another direction, I will not agree. I will not agree, right? So weight, size,
Why
whatever.
should we verify the color?
Sorry.
Why should we verify with the color?
Yes. Okay. I will tell you one thing. Now you are running or why? I will show you one business. I will show you an example. Now say for example, right, you are working or you are the business for your Google. Now if you see here, right, Google is coming in this color. Do you agree if this is coming in the other color? Will you
No.
agree? Yes, that is
No.
what, right? That is what you are testing, because this is also matters. See, actually what will happen is sometimes when you're doing your testing, you may feel that it's a silly issue, but yes, from the testing, from the business point of view, it's a huge. If you see here, right, when you are testing, it's a silly, okay, it's color, okay, that's fine, that's not a big deal, we will leave it. But when it go to the business, they will say that first fix this issue. I don't want any other issue. Like if you have any other issue, like even my this one, what you call functionality search is not working, I don't mind. But for me, this is matter. This is matter for me. This is my brand. This is my logo, like that. So everything will be like, right. You have to test it. Sometimes like when you're working with the application, even a small things will lead to a big issues. Okay, fine. Any more? Anything? Okay. Remove the fan connection. That means your fan switch, and remove the fan switch and switch on the switch on and switch on the fan. That means what I am trying to do here is, like, I have my switch for my fan. Now what I will is, I will remove that whatever that connection, and then what I will do is I will switch it on. I will check that whether there is any parallel connection. Sometimes what will happen is you will be having some parallel connection, so that even though you are not having that plug, still your fan will rotate. And then one more test case, what I will do is I will verify fan behavior by switching the main power. So as I said, right, even though sometimes, right, your test cases or your testing will looks like very simple, but which will leads to a very critical for the business. Okay, this is how to write a simple test cases for your fan. And then what I will do is, right, in the next session I will be talking about your ATM test cases. So before coming to the next session, what you have to do is, just if you're drawing your money, okay, this is my ATM. So what kind of functions I have, just have a look on your ATM and then give me your test cases. We will write those test cases in our Excel document only. We will take the Excel document and we will spend some time to write the test cases on it. Okay. Any doubts, let me know, otherwise we will meet in the next session. Okay.